If you're not looking for a butterfly, you're probably not going to see one. You're going to get what you look for. Focus on the target. Your target should be monster. Make a 100x it. Then find out whether the business that you're in right now can actually get you to that target. And if it can't, don't leave it yet, but start studying the thing that could get you there. When I first made $1 million, I did not go into hunger mode. But what would I have to do $1 billion? Oh, I'd have to change my model. It means I got to get out of my comfort zone.
He doesn't whisper about success. He shouts it from rooftops. Grant Cardone is the unapologetic force behind a $4 billion real estate empire, best-selling author of the 10X Rule, and a man on a mission to help people think bigger, earn more, and never settle. From growing up broke to running one of the largest private real estate portfolios in America.
I should be worth $20 billion today. The haters have made me unbelievable amounts of money. I would not have the success I have without the haters.
Grant's not just talking about wealth, he's scaling it. Love him or hate him, one thing's certain, he refuses to play small. In this episode, we dive into the mindset, the money, and the movement behind one of the boldest voices in business today.
My advice to parents is you cannot turn them over to YouTube and Facebook. Those are not nannies. TV was an early form of YouTube. It's garbage, dude. You're watching garbage every day. They're terrible things, and they're not even real. You have to want it. You got to be willing to leave everything you have. I have never had success in my life, not a next level success, without leaving something I love. Scott Clary's in the house.
What's going on, bro? What's going on?
It's good to have you here.
No, it's good to be here. Thank you, man. I appreciate you so much. Grant, people know your origin story, but I like to tee it up like this.
They know my origin story.
They know your origin story.
They know
the origin story. No, they know the origin story. Like
the origin story, bro, would be before conception.
That's true. Okay, the post origin story.
Okay,
the post origin story.
Okay.
If you could tell yourself when you were struggling, when you were going through all the hard times, when you were very, very early on, one thing, what would that thing be?
Let's see. One thing. Where am I? Am I 8 years old, 16? There's all these critical points in my life.
Say you're struggling with addiction.
Oh yeah. Well, quit using drugs. Quit using drugs. Get rid of the chick. She was a drug addict. Get rid of all your friends. Quit going to the clubs. I mean, in my case, Louisiana, you don't have clubs in Louisiana. You have bars. But, basically what I had to do if you're having a drug problem today, guys, look, nobody beats the drugs ever. Elvis, Michael Jackson, just keep going down the list. Nobody beats it. Number one. Number two, nobody starts as a drug addict. Everybody starts thinking they're just having a good time. And number three, you're not doing it by yourself. You're doing them with other people. Other people are always involved in a drug activity, and get rid of them. You have to walk away from them. If you don't walk away from those people, those are not your friends. They're not even their own friends. Walk away. Go to treatment if you have to. Go somewhere where you're not going to use drugs forever. Understand you're not powerless over drugs. Drug addiction is not a disease. Drug addiction is a choice. Okay, to snort cocaine is a choice. To smoke weed is a choice. To pop a pill is a choice. There's no disease, no illness that says you have to be a drug addict. That's a choice.
No, and life is made up of choices. And I think that most of the audience that listens to this show, they figured out their life to a degree. They're fortunately not in a horrible spot. I'm sure some of them have had some tough times, but they've sort of figured out kind of what they want to do in their life. But there's still so many choices. So the point of that question was, okay, so now you've overcome the drugs and the addiction. What's the advice you give yourself so that you can be some version of successful? Because the kids have so many different options, right? You can go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one, you got to, once you clean up, even for you guys that don't have problems, right?
Drinking a lot in college, not a drug, but we all.
Dude, it's a waste of time. Nobody's ever looked back and said it was my drinking in college that made me successful. Never. There's not one person that's ever said, yeah, bro, it was when I was freaking partying hard that made me who I am today. So, you just got to, once you quit screwing up, whatever you're screwing up, then you got to go clean up the screw ups. Okay. Now, if you've been just kind of lazy and just goofing off, that's a liability too. You don't have to be a full out drug addict to be a problem to yourself, your future self, your family, your dreams. You're basically a liability. You're in treason to your dreams if you're fucking off. Okay. Like, so you got to clean that up. You got to look at, okay, what have I been doing that is below my potential? Admit that you're doing that, and you got to stop it. 1, 2, you got to clean it up. You got to go clean up the damage that you did. You did damage, you know, and if you don't clean up the damage, then you're never going to clean up. Okay. But basically you're like, well, no, I haven't hurt anybody. Yeah, bro, you hurt yourself. You ruin your own self-esteem for those 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years that you underperform your potential.
Yeah.
So I spent between the age of 25 and probably 31 or 32 years old, especially the first 3 years, 25 to 28, just cleaning up. All the damage I did, all the betrayals I made. Like, I promised somebody I was going to be someplace and I didn't.
Yeah.
You damaged me and it damaged them. Their trust in me. So you got to clean all that shit up. You need to write a whole list of everything you need to clean up and fucking go clean it up.
And then once you're on the right path, you know, people still have a hard time figuring out where to spend their time and energy. Young kids have a hard time.
Yeah.
When I say young kids, I'm talking about, I'm not that old, but I'm talking about 24, 25, 26, 27. Not everybody's entrepreneurial. Not everybody knows how to invest. People just start working for a company. They don't have really an idea of where they want their life to end up, and they just kind of drift.
Yeah.
So how do you not drift when you start your career? That's very important. I think that, you know, between 20 and 25, it's a beautiful time because you can take so many fucking risks and you can try to do anything. And if you fuck up, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it really
but
doesn't matter.
It does matter, right? Every time you fuck up, you have that L on your board.
Fuck it from a business perspective, but I'd rather you take risks than just play it safe.
Yeah, well, you can take risk and still have W's though. Yeah. Like, I think you know, I would tell everybody to quit making sense of your L's, right? You got to be in the game. You got to be going for it, and you got to turn it into a win. There is a way to turn everything into a win. You don't have to have a bunch of losses in life. Like, you don't have to accumulate a bunch of failures in order to, like, validate yourself. I told my daughter, she's 15 yesterday. I said, look, you get 13, my 13-year-old, you get confidence from doing something.
Yeah.
Anything. 2, you get confidence from doing it consistently. And 3, you get even more confidence if you do it and win. So if people could just put more attention on, look, I'm going to school. Let's say I'm going to school.
Yeah.
Then fucking do great at school. Or don't go to school and then go to work. But you got to do one of the two. You're either going to go to school, go to work, or like what I did was I went to school and worked. And, you know, and so I would just tell you, like, if you're going to work and you got a refinery job, a shit job like I had, or McDonald's. I worked at McDonald's. I didn't take it seriously. You got to become the best person at McDonald's or in the refinery. Whatever you're doing, you got to learn how to become a master of that trade so that you forget the rest of the world. You know, hey, when I do something, I do it well and even better than everybody else.
Do you think that, you know, kids between 25, you know, 20, 25, do you think they're taking life seriously? Do you think?
I don't think anybody's taking life seriously. Forget the 25, 15. Like, you're going to 25, bro, but what about at 8 or 10 or 12? My 15-year-olds graduated from high school at 15 years old.
Yeah, but your kids are exceptional.
Good, because I
wasn't where they're at when I
wasn't either, because nobody was demanding me to be exceptional. People were making sense of me being a fucking kid.
Yeah.
No, you know, so people would need to quit making sense. Oh, I'm only 12. I deserve to be a kid. Bro, you're not going to be a kid forever. You're going to be an adult most of your life. Okay. Like, learn how to be one. Learn how to talk like them. Be competent. Be professional. What about just being a kid? What about the rest of your life? Okay. What about the rest of your life being a competent, professional person that you trust yourself so much because you made your bed? Like, why not make your bed every day, clean your stuff up, put your clothes up, like learn some basic stuff that you're going to need later in life, but most importantly, you're going to need your confidence. And so whether it's 12, 25, 35, 45, 55, I don't know what old is. What is old to you? Because you're talking about young people, really young people.
What's old? What's old to me?
Yeah, what age? What's the first number that came to your head?
No.
Don't edit. What was the number? What was the
I
number?
was going to say 60, 65 is old.
Dude, I'm 67.
I know. That's why I paused.
You were editing, right? So you're editing, like I said, what's the number? The number's instant. It comes to your mind. The answer's always instantly there, right? Like I don't edit anything. You ask me a question, I answer. I'm not like, oh, let me see. What's the right answer here, right? So you think 65 is old, probably 60. You're probably going to say younger than that, actually, because you think 25 is young, but the truth is, who knows? My older brother died when he was 25 years old. He was old, dude. He was old for his age, for the time he had left. Yeah. He was ancient. My father died when he was 52. So you don't know how long you're going to last. You might not make it back to Brickell today.
Yeah. That's scary.
This might be the last time we see you.
God forbid.
Rest in peace, Scott Clary.
What do you tell parents when they're trying to raise their kid? Because you made a good point.
Yeah.
You don't have to think that 25 is the right age. You can get your kids started early, young. Yeah. Help them understand business. Help them understand how to conduct themselves. Help them understand how to invest. But a lot of parents don't do that. I don't think you're the norm.
No.
You're not the norm with the parents.
I don't know. I watch my kids, I know.
Good outlier.
Huh?
You're a good outlier is what I'm saying. You're not the normal parenting.
Well, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, who knows? It's yet to be determined whether I'm a good parent or not. We'll see what, when they grow up and they start functioning in society and they start, going out on their own and doing their own deals, then we'll find out whether we got a really good product out of our kids or not. But, when I'm watching my kids at 6 and 7 watch YouTube, I'm like, that can't be good for them. So now I could take the YouTube away from them, but then what are they going to do? Mm-hmm. Like, I need to spend time with them, because I want them to hear what I'm doing. Now, just because I think what I'm doing is right.
Yeah. But what's your advice for parents on how to raise good kids? Well, you're being super kind and you're saying that we don't know. Listen, the way my advice to parents is phenomenal.
Look, my advice to parents is you cannot turn them over to YouTube and Facebook. Those are not nannies. Mm-hmm. Okay. Or like I grew up on Tom and Jerry TV. TV was an early form of YouTube. It's garbage, dude. You're watching garbage every day, junk. You're being sold terrible foods, medications. 1 out of every 3 ads on any channel that you're on is going to be, you got hypertension, you got restless leg syndrome, do you have erectile dysfunction, do you have depression, bipolar? Like, this is terrible shit your kids are being programmed with to believe these are normal fucking things. They're terrible things, and they're not even real. So get your kids off of TV, get your kids off of YouTube. You got to get your kids active. We took our kids out of school. I do not want my kids with your kids. No offense. That's how you're raising your kids. I don't want my kids with your kids. Your kids believe in all this made up diseases and shit. I don't want my kids hearing from your kids what your kids have been programmed to believe. So, and it doesn't make me right. Like, I'm not making anybody wrong here in what I'm saying. We took our kids out of school. We took full responsibility for their education. We homeschool them. They're with us 365 days of the year almost. They're required to work for us since they were 6 years old. They have contracts to work for us. They have a list of things they have to do. Mm. They're happy kids, man. They're very socialized. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, they're not gonna be socialized in the schools. Yeah, exactly. They're going to be socialized the way we want them educated. So, and again, I just want to preface all this by, I am not giving parental advice. I'm just telling you how we raised our kids.
Yeah, but I like that you have a different opinion than most. And it's not just with how you raise them. It's like you have opinions about investing, about wealth, and you just reframe shit in a way that growing up, I didn't get access to the information about wealth, about investing from my parents. And again, nothing wrong with my parents. I love them so much. Yeah. But I did, my dad worked for the government, right? Yeah. It's risk adverse, 9 to 5. So I wish that I had a little bit more of your wisdom when I was young. Yeah. So how do you fix your relationship with money and wealth if you come from that super risk adverse family?
Well, I think you have to want it. I've been obsessed with the concept of money since I was like 8 years old. I've always been interested in it. I'm a kid watching. My dad had the power. Mom didn't have any. I think women couldn't even get a damn credit card till like 1974 or something.
That's true.
Is that true?
I don't know. That's wild.
Let me ask. when did women first get a credit card?
Here's an answer from where
1974.
Get out.
Dude, I was graduating from high school. And kids, my mom couldn't have access to a credit card. If she wanted to get a loan, she needed a husband or a brother. Why am I telling you that? Because why women have been left alone in the finance department? Okay, my mom, the woman that raised me, because my dad died when I was 10, didn't have access to a credit card. So that was suggesting that women didn't understand about money. The men were out working to take care of the women. Mm-hmm. And dad dies. I don't have anybody teach me about money either. But I noticed this. My dad had control of the money. He's the one that decided what car we drove or had, when we bought a house or didn't, how much money we could spend, if we ever went to Disneyland, and we did. We went to Disneyland one time. I had one trip in 10 years. And it was the end of his life. He knew it. So I'm like, man, whoever's got the money, bro, makes the rules. And so I've been obsessed with the concept of money. So the first thing I would tell you is people need to make a decision whether they want money or not. And I think most people have tapped out, Scott, on the money game. Right. They're like, I'm not going to have it. The game's rigged. I just need to be happy. I'm just going to save. I'm just going to save what little bit I have, rather than, no, I'm going to earn more. And I'm going to create wealth for myself and my family. So I think that's what people need to decide first. Yeah. If they want to change, do you even want to create wealth?
People do. I'm sure deep down, I
don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think most people have quit on it, the concept.
Do you think they quit because they don't know how?
I think they quit because they don't believe they can be, because they've been programmed to believe you can't be one of the wealthy people. Mm-hmm. And
money's for them, not for me. Huh? That's what they think. Money's for the other, the 1%, the 0.01%.
Yeah, it's for some lucky group.
Yeah.
Some specific race, and I don't know how to get it. So I'm just going to take the job I have. Like, I would highly recommend to everybody to make wealth one of your number one most important ambitions in life. To have wealth, to create tremendous amounts of prosperity for yourself and your family, income, acquiring assets, passive income, massive appreciation, like have tremendous, like I think a target for all married couples and individuals, regardless of what your passions in life are. If you're an artist, your goal would not be to be a starving artist. It would be to be a wealthy artist.
No, of course. You know what happens in Toronto? This is what happened in Canada. In Toronto, cost of living is very high.
Yeah.
Young people, whatever.
There you go again. Yeah.
25, 30-year-old people cannot buy a house.
Yeah.
They can't buy a detached home, so they're trying to buy a condo, or they're renting a condo.
Yeah.
And then they're getting married later because it's too expensive. They're having kids later because it's too expensive. And the thing about Toronto, which is even worse than New York or Miami or LA, is the cost of living is going up, and the jobs, the salaries aren't going up in line.
Right.
So now you have a single bedroom condo that's $1 million, but you can only make 70 grand out of university or college.
Yeah.
How the fuck are you going to afford that if you don't have your parents giving you money? So now all of a sudden, you feel like, oh, fuck, I just got to push my life back 10 years. So I'm 35 to start when my parents were doing it when they were 20 years old, right?
But they didn't get ahead either.
No, they didn't get ahead. But now everyone feels lost and stressed out.
Yeah.
And then this is where they have to start to relearn what wealth is.
You gotta decide. Your parents thought that the middle class was just enough. They thought that owning a home, paying off your debts, preparing for retirement was going to be enough. They were wrong. This goes back to what we talked about earlier. Look, when you find yourself in a place in life where you're like, this is fucked up, okay? Whether that's a drug addiction, or you're like, wait a minute, dude, I'm working my ass off. These are just different problems. This is it's a middle class problem. Man, I'm working my butt off, man. I'm doing everything right.
Yeah.
Y'all don't talk like that up there, but I'm doing everything right. But I got nothing. I got no free time. I got no money. I'm stressed all the time. That's a middle class problem, right? Mm-hmm. What you want is some damn upper class or wealthy class problems. And if you're not looking for those problems, you're not going to have them any more than if you're not looking for a butterfly, you're probably not going to see one. So you're going to get what you look for. Okay. And if you're just looking to get by, which most people in Canada are simply looking just to get by, I just want to be happy.
I think a lot of people
Praise
everywhere was looking to get by.
Trudeau wasn't that bad. Like, guys, you have the highest tax rates of almost any developed nation. The lowest wages. If we added Canada to America, you would be the second lowest state wages in North America. You take the PST, the GST. You guys have more taxes. It feels like you're at a Diddy party. Okay, you go from room to room. Take this, take this, take this, take this. I'm like, God damn, bro. Like, you know, you guys just get like bang, bang. And you get your health insurance for free. And you think, oh, we get health insurance. You're getting killed. And that's why I am for Canada joining America as the 51st state.
It's not just Canadians. It's not just Canadians that are stressed out trying to figure out life, dude.
It's all over.
It's all over.
It's
all over. And I mean, we were fortunate that we had the ability to come down here. We had the resources.
Yeah.
Didn't hurt too much. We could change our whole life.
You figured out how to get down here, though.
Yeah.
You left comfortable.
Yeah.
To move toward a dream.
Yeah.
And that's what people should do. They should leave comfortable. Comfortable is an addiction too, by the way. Okay. Comfortable is a serious addiction. It allows you to socially drift through life. You don't even know you're on a drug, but you are. You're on a drug of like, I don't want to take risk. I don't want to feel stress. I just want enough. I just want everything to be perfect. Yeah, bro, you're living in a fantasy. You're addicted to a fantasy that does not exist. And sooner or later, you're going to feel economic stress in your life to retire, to take care of the bills, to take care of your parents. It might not even be you, by the way. You might not be driving Bugattis and Rolls Royce and all, but you find out, oh, your dad's got dementia and you got to put him in a place. And that place is going to cost $15,000 a month. And you weren't planning on $180,000 a year bill for the next 12 years.
Today's episode is brought to you by Vanta. Now, listen up. This matters for your business. In today's digital landscape, security isn't optional, it's essential. Without it, deals stall, sales cycles stretch on, and scaling becomes very difficult. Now, why? Because investors, customers, and partners all expect businesses to demonstrate strong security practices before they commit. If you can't prove trust, you lose opportunities. So whether you're a startup founder trying to land that first big client or an established company scaling your security program, Vanta helps businesses of all sizes prove that they're trustworthy by automating compliance across 35 frameworks like SOC 2, ISO 27001, and HIPAA, the exact certifications your prospects are demanding. Here's why you need to pay attention. Vanta gives you back precious time that you're currently wasting on compliance. Their platform automates up to 90% of the tedious compliance work. It helps you respond to those endless security questionnaires up to 5 times faster, and it connects you with experts to get your security program running immediately. The results speak for themselves. A recent IDC report found that Vanta customers achieve over $535,000 per year in benefits, and the platform pays for itself in just 3 months. So you're going to join over 10,000 global companies like Atlassian, Cora, and Factory who use Vanta to manage risk and prove security in real time. And don't miss this. For a limited time only, my listeners can get $1,000 off Vanta. That's real money back in your pocket. Visit vanta.com/Scott right now before this offer expires. That is VANTA.com/Scott.
Prolon is a success story partner. Now, long weeks and busy weekends can leave everybody feeling depressed and tired. We work nonstop. And that's why I love Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet. I absolutely love this company. Let me explain how it works. Basically, they have a fasting mimicking diet that rejuvenates you from the inside out. They deliver plant-based soups, snacks, and drinks to keep your body in a fasting state while giving you the nutrition you need. And when your body's in a fasting state, this triggers cellular renewal, and it actually works. This is why I've loved intermittent fasting for so many years. This is the magic of Prolon. And the exciting news is they just launched their next gen 5-day program. It has all the benefits they had before, but now they have 100% organic ingredients in all their foods, better taste, and ready to eat meals that make the whole process easier. I tried the original Prolon program. I feel incredible whenever I do it. I personally can't wait to try this new and improved version. And if you've never tried them before, you are in for a treat because the old one was great. I can't even imagine how good this new Prolon 5-day program is going to be. And for a limited time, Prolon is offering Success Story listeners, you guys, 15% off site-wide plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day programs. Just go to prolonlife.com/Clary to get your 15% discount and your bonus gift. prolonlife.com/Clary. You know what's funny? Because even I speak to a lot of entrepreneurs and they make more money than most people because they figured out some sort of business, right? But once they hit that first milestone, then comfort hits them. It's so funny because comfort hits you all the time.
Yeah.
And if you're not expecting it, if you're doing better than all your friends, that's when comfort is the most dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're like, oh, I have a business doing $5 million a year.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, no,
Man.
my friends aren't making $5 million a year. So now
I'm doing
you get
great.
comfortable.
And they're all telling you too, you're doing great.
Yeah, exactly. Now, you actually said something on Lewis Howes' podcast. The one, I don't know, you've done a couple with him, but it was so interesting. You were talking to him when you first were trying to hit $100 million. You were hitting $100 million. And he's like, why not $1 billion?
Yeah.
Right. And that took you back. And then you were like thinking in your head about why not $1 billion? Why not 10x what I'm doing?
We were trying to at that time, I think our target was to do a $100 million real estate deal.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, why not 10X it, Mr. 10X? I said, dude, you're right. You know what am I thinking? But I was trying to figure, I knew I could do 100 because I'd done 80.
Yeah.
And so I was doing this incremental, this linear growth.
A lot of entrepreneurs fall into that trap, though.
We all do it. Analytically, you're like, okay, I'm going to take these little baby steps. I'm going to be conservative, particularly when you're starting to make it. When I first made $1 million, I went into conservation.
Yeah.
I did not go into hunger mode. I went into like, okay, I got to conserve this $1 million. What I should have done is, okay, I want to 10X this million. And so what Lewis was saying was, well, Grant, what if 100, if you think 100, why not 10X that? And I'm like, okay, but what would I have to do to do $1 billion? Oh, I'd have to change my model. And changing my model, what I was doing means I got to get out of my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And comfort is a wicked addiction because, hey, I'm good. I don't want to mess anything up. I'm just finally getting grooved in here.
If you're hitting 100 million, there's only a few people that are going to tell you how to get to $1 billion.
Yeah.
It's not like you can go to somebody on the street and they're going to, you have to be very specific.
Yeah.
But who you're going to spend time with.
Yeah. I had a buddy lost $6 billion last week.
It's a different level.
I talked to him on Tuesday.
Yeah.
He was up 17. He was up $5 billion in a day. I said, man, bro, what's it like to be you right now? Okay. He's like, it's wild, man. It's crazy. The guy, I was with him 2 years ago. He was worth $2 billion. Went from 2 to 8, 8 to 13. And in the last 2 weeks, 13 to 22. Picked up $9 billion in 2 weeks, $5 billion in one day, and then lost $6 billion on Friday.
What's the difference?
So the reason I'm just telling you that is like this guy started selling cookies and mowing lawns. And everything he's ever done, he just figured everything he's ever done worked. And he just figures out how to make shit work, dude. And he never gets satisfied.
Yeah,
and if you met him, he's the most humble, most interesting guy. He wants everybody to do well. He wants everybody to have abundance. He does, like, you would not know. He doesn't drive big cars. He doesn't have his own plane. You'd never even know it, bro. Like, but the point I'm making about him, he's never stopped because he was comfortable.
Yeah.
He was always reaching for another part of the game to play the game. It wasn't even about money.
At that level, it's not about money.
Yeah.
That's not about money anymore. But what's the difference between that guy and 99% of entrepreneurs?
Well, I mean, almost
a few things.
Almost everything. The first thing I thought of was, what's the difference between him and me? And the difference between him and me is the vehicle. The vehicle he's using is more explosive than the vehicle I'm in. Meaning the vias I'm using to create wealth. And the things that are different for most people, by the way, is the vehicle that they're simply in. You're in the wrong vehicle.
Yeah.
If you have his mindset or my mindset, which is abundance and prosperity, and I want to take care of myself and my kids, but I'm already doing that. So now what? Well, I want to take care of a whole bunch of other people too. millions and millions of people. He wants to do that. I want to do that. And maybe you're watching and you're like, yeah, I don't care about all that. Well, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I just want to take care, if you're thinking right now, I just want to take care of myself and my family and buy a condo and retire one day. Well, you're never going to do anything big because the dream's not big enough. But the difference for the three of us, these three groups of people, between me and Bob and me and the audience that might be watching, at the end of the day, if you have the same mindset as the three of us, the difference is the vehicle. His vehicle is explosive. Mine's bigger than most people's, but it's still not. I don't have a paper event.
Yeah. Exactly.
Meaning a public event.
I've always thought about that because you built a traditional company before you went into real estate. You're doing sales training.
Right.
You're making a lot of money doing that. I was always curious, just from a strategic perspective, if you're talking to a young entrepreneur and they had like a look into your brain at the time, how did you decide to go into real estate versus to not just triple down on the thing that was already working versus investing in startups versus private equity? There's a million different things you can do, and some of them do have IPO sensitive beds, right?
Yeah. Well, at that time I was making $1 million a year. I couldn't make any more money doing what I was doing because I didn't have any more time, and I was scared to raise my prices anymore. And the audience, I don't think the audience would have paid anymore. I think I tapped out my audience.
Yeah.
I didn't have any more time. So time and money equals the multiplier, right? So I was in the wrong space. So I'm like, okay, I had extra surplus money. I'm like, I'm not going to reinvest in my business. It's not going to grow my company. What do I do with the money? I didn't understand startups. I had no connections, no Wall Street. I didn't understand Wall Street. Nobody was telling me what to invest in. So I said, I'm going to invest in something I know is not going to go away. And it was real estate. So I bought a 48 unit deal.
Yeah.
It worked well for me. I bought 38 units after that. Then I bought 92 units. In like 90 days, I bought whatever that is, 140 units. And that was $5 billion ago.
Do you think that most people should, if they're just starting out, go down and follow the path that you went on, or should they learn something else?
Focus on the target. Your target should be monster.
People
I don't care where you are. You're handicapped, blind, can't walk, can't talk. I don't care what your freaking issues are. Whatever your target is, 10x the target. Make 100x it. Okay? Then find out whether the business that you're in right now can actually get you the vehicle, the what you're driving right now. Mm-hmm. Can get you to that target, okay? And if it can't, don't leave it yet, but start studying the thing that could get you there. So the first thing I wouldn't have done is I wouldn't have been born in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I wouldn't have been born by a middle-class family, okay? I would have been born in New York City by some Wall Street firm family connected to Wall Street. I would have gone to school, not at McNeese State University. I would have gone to school at Harvard, Yale, or one of these great schools. I'd been connected to the Obamas and the Bushes and like if I could do my whole life over and the Trumps and and then, I'd know Tim Ackman and bro, I'd be Ray Dalio and I hung with these guys.
You can't do that. So what else would you read?
Well, I'm just saying, but some of the people listening can. You guys are going to some fucking third tertiary school in Midland, Texas. Fucking get out of school, bro. That school is not going to help you. This is insanity. I got a group right now that wanted to make me part of their organization and hang me with this very distinguished medal. And they're like, they don't want to do it now because I tell people don't go to college. I'm like, most people should not go to college. This is crazy that you're going to spend 4, 5, or 6 years going to college, spending money, not earning income to learn something that you could literally open an iPad up and learn. Mm-hmm. So now, are there some people that should go to college? 100%, but most people should not be spending 4, 5, 6 years. And if you're going to go to the best college, man, go to the best college, get the best degree you can in the shortest period of time possible and connect with the other players that are there. So what would I do different? I would not have gone into selling automobiles. Once I became great at selling automobiles, I wouldn't have gone into training people how to sell cars. I would have bought car dealerships, or I would have been a consulting, selling, marketing, not training. I wouldn't have traveled 300 days of the year, even though that built the character and the discipline and a whole bunch of characteristics that I have today that are great, like handling rejection and disappointment. Look, bro, I can go on and on. Okay, I would have never bought the 48 units and the 38 and then the 92 and then sold them. I would have accumulated another 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 units in San Diego. I would have never, going back, I would have never bought it with my money. I should have raised money from the get-go. Mm-hmm. And I should have been a public company 20 years ago. Like, what else you want me to tell you?
No, it's good.
The things I did right, I waited for my wife to get the right wife. Did a great job with my kids. I waited till I was 51 to have kids. I've never been bankrupt, never had a foreclosure, never asked Fannie or Freddie for extensions, forbearance. I've been in 4 lawsuits, cracked them all, beat all of them into the fucking ground. And I'm so proud of that. I've had 4 audits, won all my audits, tax audits. I've moved 5 or 6 times. Every move has been successful for me. I built a brand from scratch using YouTube and Facebook. I mean, those are the things I did well, but I wouldn't do any of it again. Believe it or not, I wouldn't do it. I should be worth $20 billion today.
No, it's just funny because people just starting out, like they look at what you built and then they try and copy you. But I think that there's easier ways.
Dude, so many easier ways. Do not copy what I did. Do not go into coaching. Do not go into education.
Would you tell people to get a job, to learn shit before, like even work for a startup, to learn all the stuff before?
No, I wouldn't tell them to do that. I would tell you, go work with somebody. Go get next to some grinder like me.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people like me, by the way. Go get, you got to find somebody that is successful and still wants to be successful. You got to find somebody with money and still wants to use money, not somebody that's on the decline. Yeah. They can be on the decline. They can be very wise, have a lot of information. They can tell you great stories, share a lot of wisdom. But bro, you want to be, you don't have to be the first man. You could just be in the vehicle.
Yeah.
And you like, I could have rolled with my buddy. Okay, I've known Bob for 12 or 15 years. I could have, when I met Bob, I could have dumped everything I was doing and rolled with him and literally invested alongside him. And I'd be worth probably $6 or $7 or $8 billion today. Rolling with the dude. I don't have to be the driver. You guys don't need to be the boss. You don't need to be the startup. Warren Buffett never started shit.
It's true.
Elon Musk never started a company.
It's also true.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't have to be the man. You don't need 50 investments. Steve Jobs had 2 investments when he died.
It's very good advice because everybody's it's very good advice. No, everyone's trying to be an entrepreneur. And I also don't think
everybody wants to be the boss.
Everybody wants to be the boss.
They got boss tags on their car. I'm like, that's so stupid. The women, what do they call themselves?
The CEOs.
CEOs. And then there's another one, the girl boss. I'm like, dude, it's so dumb.
Because
the only people that want to be...
It's the ego. People should care about making money, not just serving their own ego, doing this bullshit startup.
I work for myself. I'm like, that's a way of saying you don't have any customers. Do you always work for the customer? You have a customer you have to work for. Donald Trump does not work for himself. He works for the American people. Half of them hate him. Half of them love him. And that's kind of what it's going to be like in life.
I just want to take a second and thank Cornbread Hemp for supporting today's episode. Now, Cornbread Hemp CBD gummies have been this really nice addition to my wellness toolkit. I don't use them every day, just when I want to unwind after those extra busy weeks, but they're perfect for those moments when you want to take the edge off and just find your balance, really just shut off from work. And what makes them special is how Cornbread Hemp crafts them. They only use the flower of USDA organic hemp plants. That's the best part. For the purest, most potent experience, no fillers, no artificial fluff, just clean, full spectrum goodness in delicious watermelon, berry, and peach flavor. I keep them in my nightstand for those moments when I just need a little extra help relaxing, and I love how transparent they are too. Every batch is third-party lab tested so you know exactly what you're getting, and they put together a special offer for all Success Story podcast listeners. All listeners can save 30% off their first order. Just head to cornbreadhemp.com/success and use code success at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/success, code SUCCESS for 30% off your first order of these amazing gummies. FreshBooks is supporting today's episode, and if you've ever wondered how successful entrepreneurs stay on top of their finances while growing their business, the answer is FreshBooks. The numbers don't lie. Over 30 million people have chosen FreshBooks, processing more than 60 billion in invoices and saving an incredible 192 hours every year on accounting tasks. Think about it. That's nearly 8 full days you could get back to focus on what really matters: growing your business. FreshBooks is more than just accounting software. It's your all-in-one financial command center. Create professional estimates, track time, automatically bill clients, and capture expenses on the go. Plus, it integrates seamlessly with over 100 business tools you already use, all backed by award-winning customer service. If you're ready to stop drowning in receipts and you're ready to stop chasing down payments, here's what I want you to do. Head over to freshbooks.com to start your 30-day free trial, no credit card required. And for all you Success Story listeners out there, I've got something special. Get an exclusive 60% off for 6 months when you visit freshbooks.com/pricing-offer. Transform your business with FreshBooks today. That's freshbooks.com/pricing-offer for 60% off.
This is why I hate the idea of self-made, because everybody's built anything. Customers, investors, co-founders, employees. Nobody's done it on their own.
Yeah. Everybody can be wealthy. Like, I believe this with every cell of my body. Everybody on planet Earth, 8 billion people, I don't care where you are, who you are, what your problems are, short of maybe the Gaza Strip or Ukraine today. You could create wealth, okay? And even the people in Ukraine could, but you're going to have to leave Ukraine. You're not going to get wealthy in Ukraine today. And you have to, one, you have to want it. Two, you got to be willing to leave everything you have. If you're not willing to walk away, like you did from Toronto, you got to walk away from everything you have. The friends, it started for me when I was 25. It goes back to what I said earlier in the story with my drug addiction. I had to leave my friends, the girlfriend, everything that was comfortable, the bars, the clubs, the house I lived in, everything, bro. I had to walk away from it all. I have never had success in my life, not a next level success, without leaving something I loved.
And you have to know that it's all on you. No one's coming to save you. No government's coming to save you. No friends coming to save you. It's absolute ownership.
They might be coming to save you, but they ain't coming to save me.
You know what I'm talking about.
I just don't. Nobody's ever come to save me.
No one's coming to save me.
They might be coming for you guys, but they ain't never coming for me or Scott.
No. You got to take it's ownership over your own shit.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
And if you want to make money, if you want to make wealth, if you want to build a company, if you want to go work with somebody who's grinding out, and you don't have to be the number one, you can be number two, number three, whatever.
But some people can't do that. They're like, I got to be number one. Number one of what?
Doesn't matter.
Number one of what?
But it's still personal responsibility over your situation.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That's it. That's really it. One thing that I love that you speak about a lot is Elena, and you speak about your marriage and how strong it is and how important it is. And I don't think that's discussed enough. When you have that person at home, that is the biggest difference. That is the one thing that I think that most people don't pay enough attention to. Yeah. The right partner.
I don't too. I mean,
what do you mean you don't?
I mean, I don't like, if I was very honest, I do not do a good enough job as a husband.
Why do you say that?
Because I don't. I know, I would rate one of my lowest scores in life is as a husband.
I don't see that
if I grade myself as a father, dude, I'm a freaking, I am a great father. As a friend, 60 on a scale of 100. I'm not a great friend, okay? Relationships, transactions, oh shit. Dude, I'm 99. I'm a transaction guy. I love transactions.
You can't tell me that it's easier to build when you're single.
Golf, I'm a 65 or 70, but I like to play the game, right? But I only go out there to do deals.
I get it. No, but you can't.
Meeting new people and socializing, fucking terrible at it.
But
I don't like it.
But you don't think there's an advantage of having that relationship?
No, there is. I'm just telling you, I'm not great at it. So you're asking me about relationship advice, and I'm like, fuck, you're asking a guy who's not that great at it.
I'm asking you to say if it's important or not.
Yeah, it's very, bro. Of course. Come on, we're living together, we're sleeping together, we're waking up together, going to bed together, sharing kids together, like you either get that right or you don't.
Yeah,
and it's going to be with you every day. The only thing more important than that is probably your relationship with yourself. So That's the other thing. Like, what's that relationship like? Everybody's talking about the other person.
Yeah.
What about the one with themselves? How do you feel about yourself? Because if I don't get that right, I'm not having a relationship with somebody else that's going to be right. I'm brutally honest, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you feel like yours is good with yourself?
oh yeah, it's good with myself. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. But most people don't. Most people don't. Like, the world I live in is so lonely, bro. Okay. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, when under pressure, under certain situations, very recent situations, by the way, partners, employees, spouses, everybody's like, I don't think this is the right play right here. Of course you don't, dude. I'm the one that knows this playbook. Okay. This is my playbook. This is what I have to do. And at that moment, you're by yourself. Okay. So you guys that think I'm going to have a wife, you might think Gina's going to support you. Gina's not going to support you all the time. There's going to be times in life when you hit a point, no one is going to support you. And you're doing the right thing. You're going to be doing the right thing. And everyone is going to be like, not this time, Scott. Can't support you in this one, bro. Because they don't know what you're going through at that moment. They don't know what's right for you at that moment. And so there's going to be times in life, bro, where everybody, and that's where you better be certain about yourself being right. I'm not talking about a narcissist now, or arrogance, or some, stupid amount of self-confidence or delusion. This is in life where you got to know you're right more often than you're wrong, and you have a track record of being right more often than you're wrong.
How do you trust yourself to make the right call?
Do the right thing, bro, and make sure it works. It's what I tell my daughter. Work builds confidence. Consistent work builds more confidence, and work that wins builds even more confidence. So you might have seen some of these lawsuits that I was in, right? And everybody's like, why is he getting so public? Why is he letting people know about this lawsuit? There was one last year, one this year. I've only been in 4 or 5 lawsuits in my whole career.
Public. They're loud.
Didn't start any of them, by the way. Didn't start any of them. They did. And then I try to settle it quietly, and it doesn't go away. And then I'm like, okay, well, now I have to go Grant Cardone. Okay. So that's when you find out how much gangster you got in you. But the problem with the gangster, the problem with the real baller, the problem with the guy that really goes hard, okay, it's that Tom Brady, it's the end of the game thing. These people are by themselves in that moment. And this is something no one can ever tell you, can never be prepared for. That's when you got to trust you that you're doing the right thing. I'm doing something right now. It'll come out here in the next week, maybe 4 days, might be this week.
Fucking should have interviewed you next week after. We could have done a launch on that shit.
I'll give you a little tease on it.
All right, give it.
I'll give you a little tease. Hold on, let me look it up. It's on my phone right now. Unfortunately, oh yeah, the tease is it's my time. Okay, it's my time. I'll send you the photo next week.
Send it.
So, there's a lot of stuff that happens when people are doing stuff like I do, behind the scenes that you never know about. And then when it pops, right? When it happens, you look great, man. Don't worry about it. I'm trying. Okay, he's cleaning stuff up over there, getting the wrinkles out. He looks good. Okay, and there's things that happen behind the scenes that people don't know, and then all of a sudden it pops to the front, and you're like, why did he push that? In this case, why did Grant make that public? Okay, well, there's a reason why I made it public. I'm not stupid. But everybody around you, do you know how lonely Donald Trump must be?
I have no doubt. Yeah.
Dude, do you think Melania supports him every 100% of the time?
She probably thinks he's crazy for even doing this shit.
Everybody thinks he's crazy, bro. Look, everybody's got to think he's crazy. There is no way that guy's doing what he's doing on a daily that he gets support from everybody around him. It's impossible. First of all, there's too many people to have that much. You can't get that much support. Everybody else around him has their own opinion.
Yeah.
So if you're in a leadership position, you're going to be in a situation one day where you got to go take a hill. You're going to be on a mission. And you're going to look up, there's going to be a whole bunch of people around you, behind you. Bro, you're by yourself. Okay. You're the leader. They ain't 50 leaders. There's a leader. And if you need to check with everybody else about the right thing to do right now, you ain't a leader. So, because when you check with them and say, hey, what do you guys think? You're going to get, no, don't do that. But that's not the right thing to do. I mean, I don't know what the right thing to do for you is. I just know when I go.
You got to trust yourself regardless of
bro,
what that
you got to
thing is.
trust yourself, and you better be right. You need to be right more often than you're wrong by 10x.
Yeah.
That means you need to be right a lot. Okay. So that's why I said no bankruptcies, no foreclosures, no defaults, no forbearance, never. Like I have a list of nevers: never a forbearance, never a bankruptcy, never a foreclosure, never late on a bill. Okay, never. I was late on one bill, and guess what? I never paid the guy, and I never will pay the guy. Okay, never lost a lawsuit. Not the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, or the fifth one. So been in an audit with the IRS, 4 of them, never lost, and never lost. So you got to. I know that's going to sound arrogant to people, but the point I'm trying to make is, bro, you guys got to make winning important. Don't start a fight you can't finish. Mm-hmm. Don't start a damn litigation you can't win, because it's going to look bad. You know, don't start a fight with your wife that you can't win. It's just a waste of time, because you got other battles that you need to have. And so this is where back to the relationship question, me and my wife do well mostly when we're worried only about beating back the enemy. And remember, she's not the enemy.
Yeah.
You know, there's an enemy and there's a target. Okay. And when we're doing best, 21 years we've been married, we are focused on the target and the enemy, not each other.
I think that's so important.
Yeah.
But this is the stuff, right? Like we'll land this plane in a second, but I just want to say, for entrepreneurs out there who are listening to this, relationship is important. It's not going to be perfect all the time, but it's going to be better than not being in a relationship or being married to somebody who's a good supporting partner.
Yeah.
You have to find a way. You have to find a way to just take ownership over all the shit that you're going to deal with. Yeah. And then, people say everyone has to fail, but what you're telling me is like, you know what? You got to win. You got to win if you're an entrepreneur.
You got to be in the game, dude, and you don't have to fail. You should be in the game and win. You should make winning like an addiction.
Yeah.
You know, the back to the relationship thing too, like the Bill Belichick thing. He's 76 years old and she's 25 or something. It's 51 years, bro. I saw something on this morning. I'm like, I can't even think with it. Being single. Like I have made so much more money as a family man than I ever made single. So your family's they're not going to hold you back. They're going to make you better.
1,000%.
Particularly the kids. The kids are going to make you more creative. Yeah. My wife has if you pick the right spouse, dude, they have you think if they really believe in you.
Yeah.
I don't even know that my wife really, really believes in me. I just think my wife believes that I am the one that can actually make shit happen. And so she just dreams of these big ideas. She doesn't really care how bloody I have to get in the process. She just I think I can throw him out there and he can do it.
You do it.
I do it, dude.
So it's better than somebody who thinks small.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always better than somebody who thinks small.
Totally,
you want to,
but it gets a little exhausting, right? Because I'm like, God damn, dude, like we can do this. And I'm like, no, you can do this. You can do this. But that's her we.
Yeah.
Her we is, I got to go do it.
Last thing I want to ask.
Yeah. And she's awesome, by the way. Elena,
I know.
Phenomenal human being.
She is like her own.
Yeah. She's a
force.
She's a big.
Sure. But that's why when you pair up with the right person.
Yeah.
That's what is magic. It's truly magic.
Yeah.
Two things to close this out. First, I was actually told to ask this because apparently you give a different answer every single time. This is a fun question.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you got to tell the audience something that you've never told anybody before. Something about you that nobody knows.
Can't do that one.
I thought you said you don't edit.
Yeah, but I am in this case. Something I've never told anyone before.
You could lie to me, I wouldn't even know, but
no, I'm trying to think about something I've never told any. It's kind of a hard question for me because I've talked about so much of my life. I
All right, what's an idea on your mind right now that you haven't actually?
Yeah, I'm second guessing the whole California thing, you know, whether I want to do that right now. So I've been to California 3 times to go see if I could wake up the state to flip it red. And right now I'm waking up this morning saying, man, I got too many other things going on. I don't have any business doing that. I don't even know if I want to tell anybody that, but
Well, we can.
I don't know if it can be flipped. I don't know if it can be flipped. I mean, I would go there if I could flip it. If I knew I could flip it, if I knew the people wanted to do this, I know the people running right now over there for the Republican side, there's no way they can pull it off. They're just not charismatic enough. They're not energetic enough. They're not thinking outside the box big enough. They're not killers. So they're not going to pull it off. So it makes me feel obligated. Like, dude, you could go over there and make a difference. I actually think I could win it. And I think it's very, very important. It's the 3rd or 4th largest economy on planet Earth. It's phenomenal. It's a great resource.
It's sad.
It's terrible.
Sad. California terrible. Used to be amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and now it's all gone downhill.
So maybe I'll just, redirect to Canada. Become the prime minister.
California could be your first project. Canada could be your second project.
Yeah.
And last question.
Yeah.
You've given over a lot of wisdom and advice. If you had to pick the most important piece of wisdom, and the context is you're going to pass this lesson on to your kids.
Yeah.
You have to pick one.
Yeah.
What is that lesson and why?
You will never get anything great without leaving something good.